Let's make this so I get copyright. This is $15. Let me set it up there. Okay, what's up? It's what you Scotty. So I thought I'd come down and find what's your name? I'm with Eddie and Jordan. I'm with Eddie and Jordan. Owner of Columbia and Hastings, and I spent a lot of time down here. I actually spent time in Pigeon Park, just one over. But anyways, so how did you end up? Yeah, this is the part where I push stop on the camera in the middle of the interview. Okay, so they make you take the tents down in the day? They used to? Smoking dope or whatever, and they come through the alleys. Yeah. Yeah. Then you have nothing. Yeah. People don't realize when you're homeless, this is what you have. You know what I mean? They think it's garbage. It's not. It's your fucking home. I get it. Okay.
Flowers so far today, and so far he's just his backpack. He just realized his suitcase is gone. My first up there, his storage is gone. His lunch is gone. 2 of my bags up there are gone. All the garbage just related over a day.
Wow. So it's hard to get somebody to respect your.
You don't do it. Why would they?
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. It's hard to get a shower in that around here. Do they still have the one up at by Oppenheimer there?
Like the 44?
Yeah, up around there. 44 still going? Hey?
The new addition was added to them. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
Okay. Yeah. No, it isn't. No. Especially when you've been walking all day and you know.
Oh, you're going to take your clothes off.
Yeah.
You know, actually shower and shower and
yeah.
So usually I end up getting banned.
I'm sorry, but that's kind of what they do. You know, they ban.
Then next month I can go back and try another shower. It's frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Well, you know, guys, thanks for chatting with me. I appreciate it. I've been here for a long time. I was lucky to get out, but I still struggle, right? With you know, it's not heroin anymore, man. You know what I mean? It's
the money's in the merch.
The money's in the merch, eh? All right, so that's a little hint for any of you guys that want to, I don't know, tell off your parents and leave home. Okay. Yeah, no shit, eh? I'm just trying, yeah. The downtown Eastside is the worst I've ever seen it in the 50 years I've lived in Vancouver and the 20 years I spent down there. The tents are covering both sides of the street for many blocks. This is a little bit of an issue. The city has proposed taking down the tents, and there was also a number of flyers that were sent out threatening to burn these tents down with the people in them. Fortunately, or unfortunately, several poverty groups in our city have issued an injunction in court to stop tents from getting taken down, at least until they can get homes for everybody or until their check gets cut. There's a whole industry, especially in our city, that advocates for the poor That seems to be all they do. The deaths and overdoses are skyrocketing, and it's not getting better. What's your name?
Shaggy.
Hey Shaggy, what's up? I'm Scotty. It's OG Scotty on YouTube. You can find your interview up in a couple days. Where are you from originally? To see it.
Near Timmins, Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah, came out here about 7 years ago. I hitchhiked here, and yeah, I always stayed in shelter maybe for like first like bit of winter. I hitchhiked in the winter to get here.
Yeah.
And stay with Aboriginal shelter for the rest of the winter, and then in the summer I went up to Chilling Park, and I stayed there for the summer, and then I've been just outside ever since.
Okay. It's there's less rules outside, eh? It's a little easier that way, but
yeah.
Your stuff is hard to keep track of. Or?
Yeah. I've given up on buying a phone.
Yeah.
My phone, an hour later it's gone, and next day it was tents go, and everything. We literally lost the whole tent. Like,
okay, what would you rate the drug supply down here? Like, is it okay, like for instance, in my day we had heroin, right? And we had fentanyl. Trust me, I know about that. But people would get hot capped because they get like an extra dose or whatever, right? A stronger dose. How do you find the people dying down here with the fentanyl and with all the shit going on? It's unprecedented, isn't it?
Yeah. I came from, my town was like, it was near Timmins. It was just a little town called Rico Falls. It was like 3,000 people, and it didn't have, we had weed and maybe Percocets and maybe oxys. We didn't have, no one was dying.
Well, do you find they're putting fentanyl in everything?
Well, when you test it, you get like meth, and you test it, and sometimes it has it in it. Sometimes it has benzos in it. Nowadays, most of the fentanyl has benzos in it.
Okay.
Most of it, you have to trace it out.
Yeah.
You can find you can find the right people that'll have.
Sure. Some people have ethics, some people don't.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? See, I've fried my brain with drugs too, man. I had a good friend that used to work right here in the cage. I don't know if they call it the cage anymore. No, in this building up top, they used to, yeah, it was called the cage. Yeah, and I lived in the Wonder Rooms and the West Hotel, just over there. Anyways, so, but it's been a while. I met my wife down here actually. Yeah, her ex is still down here, I think. So how long have you been here for?
7 years.
7 years, yeah. Do you mind if I ask what your drug of choice is? What? Heroin, so fentanyl and. Yeah. Have you seen heroin in your life? You have? Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's just kind of.
It's pretty hard to find if you want to just find that, but
yeah.
Since I do fentanyl, heroin doesn't actually.
Heroin doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It's not as strong.
Yeah, no. It doesn't get you sick. And like when they make like down, you put the heroin in with the fentanyl to make the fentanyl last longer.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a rare thing to find.
It's called legs, right? We call, yeah. See, I know. Yeah, I used to stay in the Balmoral Hotel there too. Yeah.
We used to stay outside of the street, the two there, and myself and the guy named my buddy Oaken, and like I got a whole crew of like they got my street family.
Yeah.
And we used to live inside the first cubby there.
Yeah.
We were there for a long time, and then just hit gangs and.
Yeah, there's a bit of that down here, isn't there?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's so.
It's so much different. Like even like 2 years ago, it's so much easier and not so crazy.
Yeah, you don't get much. If you want to work, you don't get much of a fucking cushion, do you?
Yeah, you have to work with the right people, or
or you can't work.
You have to work in the right areas, or you don't, or you don't work, or you do never.
Yeah, it wasn't like that too much. It was a little bit, but not as much as it is now. I know about that. Yeah.
Merch is a good idea.
Merch is the way, eh?
Yeah, merch is like the safest way at least.
Okay, cool.
Sometimes. Depends where the merch came from.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
true.
You buy boosters and shit, and you get a good deal off them, but then sometimes the cops come and go, oh, there's tags in it, so stolen stuff, and then they take it away. So and then you buy a bunch of stuff that's been used, and then it turns out it goes down the street and comes with his friends and take a sillier and take everything you got. Like, so it's just like, you gotta be careful and do everything.
Alright, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I'm gonna be down here again. Maybe just let your friends know. And
Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer. ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer. By Pfizer. By Pfizer. By Pfizer. This week with George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by Pfizer. By Pfizer. Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer. CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early. By Pfizer. By Pfizer. ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer.
so just an interesting little side note. Pfizer, under another company name, during the 90s, this was the same time that the Americans were in Afghanistan and took over the poppy fields. Pfizer flooded the market with the drug called Oxycontin.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Doctors were told this drug was a harmless way to cure heroin and morphine addiction. So they doled out the drug like candy to anyone that had a back issue or even a sniffle or a sore tooth.
You know, no jab, no job. If you haven't had the jab, well, that's the way it's going to be. It's going to create a two-class society. That's also now being pushed by Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand, who of course said there wasn't ever going to be any problem like that. It was never going to create an issue.
The Drug Enforcement Agency clamped down on things called pill mills that were supplying this Oxycontin to anyone that had a script. What was interesting, good, cheap, pure heroin now flooded the market. This is back in the 90s still. You know, when every band, every fashion show, and every television show was about heroin. Enter the 2000s, and we now have an even stronger opiate called fentanyl. Interesting.
Actually, what it's become dealing with, they're not just people who cry about vaccines. They're a tool for confidence. People who have been vaccinated, who want to know that they're around other vaccinated people.
Hey guys, I got a YouTube channel. I used to live down here. My sister-in-law actually works down here still. You guys feel like doing an interview? I'll pay you for your time. I just want to, because I used to live down here.
Yeah.
I used to live in the, what is it, the West.
Yeah.
I lived in the Wonder.
Yeah.
And I guess I got out about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's the fentanyl is still around. It's killing a lot of people. One of my best friends is Kenny. I don't know if you know him.
Kenny?
He's Kenny from The Cage. Anyways, Smokey Devil, I knew him, I know him well, whatever. I'm not down here anymore. I have a YouTube channel and I want to do some interviews. So, are you interested? I'll give you $20. Yeah, cool.
Just got home.